Hello, and welcome to another daily review with Adrian H. Today we're going to be reviewing Monday, the 25th of August. So let's begin. We can see, starting off, let me just change my cursor. Um, we had this Friday low swing here, which we've come out, we've come back, and then tested that zone, and then we've had that huge expansion on Friday, just taking out all this liquidity here that was built up. And it was also went into that Wednesday zone here that we had. So respecting that 50% mark, we come back in, mitigate the orders that were used here to manipulate price for this swing. Took out this low here from Thursday and continued up. So now we've had that bullish expansion. So then coming into Monday, we're looking for a retracement back towards that OTE of the daily range. So we have our daily low here, daily high. We can do our fixed range volume profile from here to here, and that gives us our POC here. We have this low swing that caused this breakout, and that hasn't been retested, so that is unmitigated. So that becomes a bit of a draw as well for price to come back to. And we reached so far SD 1.5, SD 2.5, almost SD 3.5 there. So starting off with the day, we want to look at, as we come into Asia, we've got our 1800 swing here. And so we look at that 1800 to 1900 move can always be a plausible high of the day. That's what these blue lines here are for. Or low of the day, depending where price is. And we want to start our day with our PDH, PDL, our OTE, and then we want to map out that high swing. So this was from our New York quarter 4 in the AM from Friday. So we want to get this whole zone here, and we drag that across, and that becomes our main resistance until it's not. So that's what this whole rectangle I've got here is, and we can draw a bit more of a line so we can see that better there. That's our main resistance for the day until it's not. That a bit thicker. So part of New York from Friday, then into the PM session, just broke down from there. So we get our change in state delivery here. We've got displacement, and then we come down to that SD 1.5, which is our first target for shorts. And then we come back up into the zone and continue down. And then we've started the day here. So quarter 1, we've come back up. We have another break here, so we can draw this zone on as well. So this come back to 50% of this first zone. We can draw another zone on in here. So that was our PM quarter 2 manipulation. Breaks back, tests 50% of the zone, comes down, then we come back up here, and we have our 1800 open, which then retests that zone. So we can then draw another one on, and then price comes back to 50% of that during Asia quarter 2. So we have a Q2 manipulation here in Asia. We have an inverted BISI there. We can look to take shorts from that level. So initial shorts can be from that BISI, and then we're targeting SD 1.5 from this manipulation swing. SD 1.5, SD 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5. We then go into a London continuation. And the other thing for Asia we always want to look at was that New York PM low and where that came in. So that's, we've got that here, right? This is our New York PM low. That becomes the drawn liquidity for Asia. NYPM highs left untapped. Sometimes you will get that swing here at the start and it will sweep it, which then gives extra confidence for the short. Then we get our breakdown afterwards. So drawing down to the PM low, which we can see gets tagged here into quarter. It's tagged in Q3 there for Asia. And then we get a sort of quarter forward manipulation back here. Inverted CIVI here. So we sweep the previous session low, break out, we get displacement up, and then coming back against trend, because we're currently trending down, we look for that SD1 to 1.5 into continuation down. So we have London opens up. We get our break here, and we have our inverted ISI here. So this was a Q1 manipulation swing here. We can then put our zone on here as well. And then we can look for shorts either after this break, which would be back here. And same thing, we're targeting 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5. And we also want then alignment with the previous session, which we can see it takes that Asia low here. And then for the tighter entry, we'll be looking for shorts back here. Stop above the high. And same thing, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5 there. See price comes down, we take Asia low, and then just continues on from there. Now, if we have a look at, we'll go into our replay mode here, and we'll come back to the price was here. So we've still got our main swing here that we're using for the day, and then we use our previous session swings. So we had PM1 here, and then Asia to work with as well. So we're working with these for our trades alongside this main swing, the standard deviation here. So now we're going to look at C's. We want to see where we're at on, let's just see what we've got this set. So weekly. So weekly, we've got our weekly internal median here, external median up the top, being outside of the previous weekly, and internal being inside the previous weekly. So we got our weekly median in around that SD 4.5 from that Asia swing. Let's have a look at the daily. Daily's up a bit higher. SD 3.5, SD 4. The internal range. Look at the 12-hour. Zoom in a little bit more here. 12 hours down here. So we're currently in the 50th percentile of the internal range. And let's look at the 4-hour. So these vertical lines are for my 4-hour ranges. So we can see we've done our, there's another one here, so where this blue line is for the 1800s. So that's done the open, high, low, close, open, low, high, close, and then we've just opened and we're coming down here. So for our bullish continuation, we want this 4-hour here to be an open low. Take it out the swing here, and then take out the liquidity that's built up. So all of these highs here along the way. So with our current 4-hour C's here, which is, so if I turn this off so you can see, it comes up. So we've gone into external, and external range. Sorry, internal here to external. And we are at our 4-hour median of that level. Now, that went down into the 75th percentile of previous H4s from historical data. So let's just step it along and we'll get a new one in a sec. There we go. So now we've got, this is our internal range, internal medians. So we want to see this go into external and take out that low. And we're also going to have a look at more, see if we get some confluence with some open retest levels. So more gives us our chart over here, and we can see we've got our highest one at the moment is on the 10-hour, that's 86%. So if we go into more and we switch that to the 10-hour, so the 10-hour is working off of 4 o'clock open here. So within this 10-hour candle, we can expect 86.5% probability of that 4 o'clock open being tested. So that's good. Let's have a look at the 8-hour. The 8-hour is showing 83.7% probability. And that is for 2 o'clock for the 8-hour. And that finishes at 10 o'clock. So we've got a high probability chance of price reaching the 2 o'clock open by 10 o'clock. So yeah, pretty keen for longs at this range. So we'll leave that on. We can also now switch C's to the 8-hour as well and have a look. And we've got our 8-hour, so we're in the external range of the 8-hour. We've got our 8-hour median here. So we're pretty keen for longs around this area. And we can also have a look at Hyper, and Hyper is going to show us the probabilities of each liquidity level. Here, so for this high, we've got 85% probability. For the current hour, 86.9 for end of day. So high 80s, 75, high 90s for end of day up here. And then it gets lower as we go higher, 89% here for that Asia high. All right, so we'll step through. So we've now taken that 4-hour low. We can look at C's as well on the 4-hour. We've hit median now of the 8-hour. It's definitely around our point of interest. Switch this back to the 4-hour. So 4-hour, we've got our median down a little bit lower, coming into that 50th percentile. And we've just opened low. So plausible open low into the external range and then push to the external range above the previous H4 high, hitting that 83% on the 8-hour. Have swing failure pattern candle here with nice close above. Want to see break above here for a 5-minute change in state of delivery. We're into 7 o'clock now. I'm going to sell off there into 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock opening low. And so if this becomes a manipulation swing, we want to see price close above the CIVI. We want to see price close above the fair value gap that creates the manipulation swing. Just rejecting off that CIVI now. Coming into 9 o'clock, rejecting that 50%. We've got relative equal lows here. Okay, so now we've flushed the lows. We get our close above here So this becomes our manipulation candle. We can do a zone from this high that made that low. This becomes our manipulation zone for New York quarter three. Our bullish order block there. Right, plus OB. And we're looking for longs now for zone. Becomes quite a large stop loss. It's normally nicer if we get that fair value gap, or even the close above this manipulation candle here a lot lower. But we just work with what we got, and then we're targeting SD 1.5. Drag that right out for the 4 hour, and SD 2.5. And we can continue on if we're expecting bullish continuation. However, we still do have these at the unmitigated order block down here. Let's see what price does. SD 1.5 lining up nicely with, we got the Asia high just above, and that open retest for 2 o'clock for the 83% probability. Continue, almost getting stopped out there. Pretty messy open here for this one. And 10 o'clock's just done that little open low. We've pushed up. And there's SD 1.5, so you TP there. And Asia high. Being that main draw on liquidity for the day. There's one more level here, which is showing 87% by end of day. Sort of the last liquidity level. And that gets here there. So all the liquidity levels are now taken in hyper. Let's move these out of the way so we can see a bit better. Now into the 95th percentile of the H4. So only 5% of our previous H4 is getting higher than this. We've taken out our liquidity high. We now have, now that we've swept that 8 hour high, 8 hours being swept, we now get another open retest level that comes up here in more. And that's showing 66% probability of being retested. We have these, the liquidity levels here. These are showing quite low now by end of day. 45%, 48, 43. True day open over here. So we're waiting now then for a 5-minute change in state of delivery. Should we get there? So this becomes our zone for New York PM. And then we can look for shorts either sort of like within the zone, whether we want to do Asia high, or we can do it straight off the zone edge if we want. And targeting SD 1.5. $2.5. And lower is even less probability. Probably wouldn't worry about any lower from there. There was no inverted BCs here. So it would either be 50% we would do off the zone, or we can enter straight off the zone, which ends up a bit over be 1.5 to 1. We've got our confidence because we know this H4 isn't going to go, like it's only got 5% probability it's going to go higher than that 95th percentile. TDO there, so we want stop loss to break even there because we don't want 2-day open to act as support. And there we go. So taking out SD 1.5, price come back to that 66% open retest there from 10 o'clock. And SD 2.5, just missing that by a tick. And that concludes the day. So nice little range day. We've opened up so high. We get our zone up here. Asia comes back to then retest to this zone from the PM. Continue down. We come back to retest the Asia zone for London. Continue to sell off. We build all this liquidity up on the way. We get our reversal here after SD 2.5, just hitting 3, I think there. SD3 of this main leg. We hit SD 4.5 of that manipulation for London, and SD 3.5 here from that Asia manipulation. So all the confluence starts to come together and come back. A little bit messy here to get that entry, so we have a pretty big stop loss to get the entry here once we've got that close above that manipulation candle. And then we take all this liquidity out, going up to SD 1.5, SD2, and Asia high being the main draw on liquidity for New York. Then get our zone for the PM session, get our shorts in here, and we can target that SD 1.5, which also lined up with that open retest, and SD 2.5 on another account. Well, guys, we'll end it there. Hope you enjoyed this. Trying to show here how we can use the level logic indicators alongside using that 5-minute model with all our targets on the way. Works very well, adds a lot more confluence, especially when we're down in here. We can see historically where the H4s have come down into. We had our 8-hour median that we're down to as well, our 8-hour retest level up here. 83% was lots of confluence for this long to push up. And then same for the short to come back and retest that 10 o'clock level. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one. Please, if you enjoyed this, leave a comment and like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.